Hi guys, I'm back again with another video. So on this video, we will be looking at the market analysis for this week up until the next Friday. So on my top right, I have all the 5 currency pairs and one index that we will be looking at. So I'm going to start with GBPCAD and go accordingly. So we're going to start on the daily time frame to understand the type of trend that we are in, right? So on GBPCAD, you would see that we have this kind of uptrending market currently. And then I would also have those highs at the top, right? So which is higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. And then this is a higher low that we're currently at. There is no need for us to drag all the way to the downside because it won't make sense. So going to the 4-hour time frame, all right? This is where now we're gonna get inside this structure that we have built for ourselves so that we can understand what is happening in the market currently, right? So let's do that. So as you can see, the market is currently head printed like this continuation channel, right? So as you can see, impulse move. So this was a correction phase. And then if you look at it carefully, the market ended up there giving us what? An inverse head and shoulder, meaning that this is with the first leg, this is the head, this is the second leg, right? So, but in as much as the market has now finally broken out of the structure, but it's moving correctively currently. So we're currently in a corrective phase. And as we all know that the market nature says that after every impulse move, we get a correction. So where are we now in terms of that? We're in a corrective phase, right? So you can see that we kind of have a level over there that I'm going to highlight like that. So we're just gonna go on the 1-hour time frame as to how we can get involved here, right? So now that we understand that we have this supporting trend line from the daily time frame, you would also notice that, like I said, that we have this corrective structure that we also have to respect, right? Meaning that if we treat this as an impulse, then this is a correction. So we're waiting for the next impulse, but we have to respect this trend line and that trend line because the market can still bounce there and go to the upside or even from this one, right? Unless those two trend lines get broken. So now we may not necessarily focus too much on this one and also that one, right? And just focus on what's going on in here. So we can see that we are in a level that we can kind of say it's important because that's support, resistance, and then we're also there currently. So let's go to the 15-minute so that we can see exactly what's going on in there. So we are looking here at the possibility of the market coming all the way down to give us a third touch, at least towards there or there, right? So that is what is going on currently. And if you look closely there, that might just be what? A head and shoulder, right? So if we look closely what's going on here, you can see that this is the first leg, left leg, the head, and then this was the right one. And then the market printed a bearish engulfing candle. So if the market end up going to the downside, then we might just see it coming all the way here, possibly, and then also highlighting the fact that this is an important key level that we would need to put an eye on in case it goes all the way to the downside. So I'm looking at the probability of the market being a sell up until this trend line and also that one over there. But we need to just put an eye in this level as well, right? So let's move forward, guys, now to the next pair. So the next pair that we have currently is USDCHF. So on USDCHF, right? So luckily I have already highlighted that level over there. So we're currently at this level over there, which is at that low, right? But you can also notice that we are in a descending flag. And then usually the market, when it prints something like this, it turns to reverse. But it does not necessarily mean that it has to. you can still get sells inside it before the actual sell to the downside. So if you go to the H4 now, so that we can be clear as to what's going on in here currently. So as you can see at the top, we have first touch as anticipated second, but you can also call this one a second touch at the top trend line. Then at the bottom, we have these two touches, which is 1, 2. So an anticipated third touch here in the future. But we need to focus on what's going on currently. So this is the daily low, right? So if we look closely what's going on in there, now we can also see that the market is giving us an expansion channel over there, right? If you don't see it, it looks like something like this. So this is what you call an expansion channel. The market could still potentially go to the upside and then go to the downside. Because by a right, we are looking here at the possibility of USD Swiss francs being a buy. Okay. So let's go now. Okay, I also see a possibility of a pattern here, because remember, guys, when you're looking at your patterns, you need at least a minimum of at least a maximum of 3 touches, and then maybe also a 4th one, depending on the structure of the market. But before we can get the buy, I would like to believe that the market could still potentially play around that trend line, and that, and at least until it gets to the support level before it can actually give us the buys to the upside. So let's go now to the what's this time frame, on the 1 hour time frame, because the price is going to be clear there. So now that we are here, guys, right, we just need to now adjust the price. So as you can see, this is a possibility of a bullish continuation flag. If we can just delete this trend line so everything makes sense and just focus on what's going on currently. So looking at what's going on currently here, you can see at the bottom we have got the first, second, and third touch over there. But as long as the market is still playing inside, we need to respect that, meaning that it could still reach the top, meaning that it could still go to the upside and also come back to the downside before we can actually get the overall buys. So it's about deciding as to how do you want to participate or get involved in this market. Alternatively, the market may not necessarily have to come and touch that daily level. It could still reject here like it did, for example, currently, meaning that it could still reach the top of the trend line and also come back here and then give us the overall buys, right? So that is, I'm looking at the possibility of that on USDCHF, maybe a little bit more sell to the downside and come back maybe to the support level or to that daily one before we can actually get to the overall buys to the upside. So it's a matter of waiting just to see as to what's going to happen. Okay, so let's move now to GBPUSD. So we're going to start on the daily as well. Yeah. So starting on the daily time frame here as well, you can see that, okay, we also have something similar to GBPCAD. And then you can just extend, clone the trend lines like this and also put it like that. Right. So we are in a bullish trend, which is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So maybe a higher high sometime there in the future. And then you can also spot a correction here, which confirmed that the buys to the upside at the time. So if you go to the H4 now, this is where price gets clear, and then you can see you can just adjust your price and your trend lines so they make sense. So this could be the high, because according to the pattern, that's where the 19% rule is found, unless it breaks above to give us a third touch at the top trend line. So we also have this structure that you see over here. So if the market, if it continues with the buys, then it would be what you call an ascending channel, right? Until it gets to the top before it can get the reversal. But let's go inside that structure in need of itself so we can also understand what is happening on GBPUSD currently. So as you can see, right, at the bottom trend line, we have the first, second, and we don't have a third touch. Then at the top of the trend line, can see that we have the first touch, second, and the third one over there. So it's just, guys, understanding the higher highs and higher lows, right? Because it's going to help you in your decision making. So if you go to the M15 now, we need to make sense of what's going on there. So we can say that we have an anticipated third touch over there. So it would make sense if the market could be a sell, meaning that if it sells, to at least give us that touch over there before it can actually continue with the buys. However, it could still push furthermore to the upside, meaning that it could also do this and then do that, right? So it's just a matter of waiting to see on which side will be favored the most. Are the buyers going to push the price to the upside to complete this correction, which is like this? Are they going to go to the upside to push this correction for a fourth touch before actually giving us this low over here? Or are the sellers going to push the price to the downside and put it furthermore, or going to respect this trend line and go back to the top? So I'm looking at the possibility of either one of two happening. So let's go to the last one, which is NAS100. So we're just going to start on NASDAQ on the 4 hours. Just going to start on the 4-hour time frame. So let's see. Right. So on NASDAQ, guys, we have that high, right? So that's the previous high. And then we can also cater for this low. And then we also have this channel over here. Then we also have that one over there. Then I'm not sure in terms of levels or whatever. No, that doesn't make sense to me. Let's see here. All right, so we can have something like this. Put it like that, because as you can see, support, 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 support. Higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. So it wouldn't be a surprise if the market could potentially go to the upside in a corrective manner until it reaches that high. So there is a probability of that happening. So let's go to the H1. So going into the 1 hour time frame, it's about, guys, understanding the market, where it is, and also following it. Because you can't always expect a reversal in this type of scenarios. Because as you can see, this is the 4-hour level that the market has been respecting, right? However, we need to also understand what's happening inside the structure we have built for ourselves, right? So let's go to the 15-minute. So on the M15, you can see that, okay, we have first, second, and third touch over there. So we have the other one that we are anticipating somewhere there, right? So currently, we would say that Nasdaq looks likely more to be bullish. Looks likely more to favor the sorry. Looks likely more to favor the price to the upside, because we can say that we respected this 4-hour level and also that trend line, because it had multiple touches. As a result, it rejected. So we'd like to see what's going to happen when it gets here or when it gets there. So that's all that I see on the markets currently and also going forward. Hope you watched up until the end. I will most definitely see you guys on the next video.